everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be going ahead and doing a sketchbook tour of this sketchbook, which I started way back in 2016, and I've recently finally finished it. I've really just worked on this on and off for the last 3 years, I guess you could say. But I would definitely consider this sketchbook like my experimental sketchbook. I've done a lot of testing out new styles or techniques, and just in general doodling a lot of random stuff in this. So this sketchbook was one that I got from the $5 store, so the paper quality isn't the greatest, but it was an interesting sketchbook to work in. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll flip through this. So the first sketch that I did in this sketchbook was this little one of, it's sort of a redraw of a mermaid character that I drew a while back. You guys will probably see that in a future old art share video that I'm working on, but I wanted to try doing a little portrait of her. It's alright. And then on the next page we have some gestures, a strange little turkey, this strange character, and then these three were from me trying to work on a character design for a male character that goes along with this female character in the story, one of the stories that I'm working on. And this character, her name is Merlina, and she is based off a barred owl, because at the time when I drew this, there were a bunch of little baby barred owls hatching out and branching in our backyard, and so I was inspired by watching them to try creating a character based off that. On this page, little Cyclops boy, a unicorn man kind of idea. This is actually, it doesn't seem like it, but a thumbnail for another piece later on in here. Another kind of rough idea design for Merlina, possibly some other characters in that story, but random rows. And then this is also another thumbnail for what I call my Daughter of Darkness illustration, which I did back in probably 2016, or it was the beginning of 2017, and I will probably do that as a throwback on my Instagram page. But she is basically the daughter of Persephone and Hades, so that's why I gave her that name. These ones were just so that I had a game that I was playing, and so I wanted to try to draw the two characters in that game that I was sort of designing and whatnot. So, and then this is that same character from back here with a more finalized idea for his design, and I'm pretty settled on the name Craven for him, but this is a design that I liked a lot better than the other one. More random doodles, I guess a chibi and then something else. And then this is a little fan art piece that I did because at the time I had just finished watching the Penny Dreadful series. I really liked that series a lot, and my two favorite characters were of course Vanessa and then John Clare, who is aka Frankenstein's monster. I absolutely love the Frankenstein story, and it was around I think 2016 that I finally read the book for my English class, and I loved it. It was so good. And then this is one of my Dragon Queen sort of sketches. I've done both of them in this one, but I really like how she came out. This is one that I would probably do a redraw of, or an updated version. And then this is definitely the beginning of one of my experiments in the sketchbook, which is trying to do this rainbow hair. And I really liked it to the point, about this point, and then the purple was just a huge mistake. I was not happy with that, so I did not bother to even finish it. And then on this page, just another random Cyclops girl that kind of looks like Snow White to me, strangely enough, but I kind of like how that one came out. Also some characters of mine, been working on designs for them forever, but still not completely happy with them. You actually have seen these characters in my Inktober sketchbook tour, which I will link at the end of this video or somewhere around here. Another random character design from something, didn't quite finish it. still might play around with the idea. And then here we go. This is probably one of my favorite pieces, because this is the first time that I successfully did the rainbow hair effect, and then the start of my obsession with doing like the unicorn women. So after doing this piece is when I first created this one. That was like my favorite one, and like a really like perfect, in my idea, successful go at this sort of idea. And she was the second one of my Girls with Horn series, so that was a part of why that series came to be. And then here is, so that really strange little, where is it, thumbnail here became this. So again, just playing around with sort of this rainbow hair idea, and then just doing like crazy rosettes was sort of the idea. Again, another one that might be cool to do a redraw of. More of my working on characters, trying to do emotions. I like that one, so I kind of like fleshed it out a little bit more than, say, the other ones. And then this one was a idea for a series that I didn't really finish because I wasn't really happy with this one, but the idea was to sort of take different cocktail drinks and then sort of personify them as like these cute girl characters. And so this was like a blue double cocktail, I think, so didn't continue with that series. Another unfinished piece in here would be this one that I was going to call Medusa's Temple. I don't know, I just kind of lost interest in it. I mean, the concept, I think, is something I would maybe re-explore, but I was playing around with this strange style and didn't quite work out, and I think I wasn't happy with the coloring. This was another one that was going to be one of like the girls based off drinks, and I think this was going to be peach lemonade, but I never finished coloring it. Random boy character, which is surprising because I don't really draw boy characters often, but that was one that I was actually really happy with how he came out. A sort of random ladylike witch. I really like this one still. I think it's really cool. This is another favorite of mine from here. I can't remember exactly what I called this one. Maybe like Facing Darkness or something, but I was on Pinterest and I saw this like crazy jewelry, so that was like the starting inspiration for this piece. An eel mermaid. I really like how the I got like part of the fins and stuff to go because the sort of scratchy line work, it worked really well on this paper for some reason. Another design for a character that I've been playing around with. More of that going on here. Sort of an idea of doing my own magical girl sort of thing. Also a thumbnail for a sketch later on in the sketchbook. I think I was trying to continue on with like the Witch Sona challenge, and I think the second day was supposed to be what was it, Altar, but again, I wasn't exactly happy with how this was coming out, so I just didn't finish it. This one is an absolute like long-standing favorite of mine, and this is my little Dyrad character that I actually drew outside underneath the tree, so that's where like the inspiration came from, and I just had sort of these colors in my travel bag and decided to do it. This one is just sort of like a de-stressing page where I was just doing these crazy swirly hair things. It's kind of cool. Might be fun to try to do that again on something as like a finalized piece. A failed attempt at drawing a witch. This one was another de-stressing page with all these little rose things. Again, I was going to finish this and color it completely, but I don't know, I guess I just lost interest in it. This was one of my Inktober from 2016, which I only did like I think 3 of these, but this actually started as a little doodle, which you can find in my doodle scrapbook sketchbook sharing, which again I'll also link that one, but that's where I first created this idea, and then I sort of finalized it more here for Inktober. More random designs for something that never got finished. Thumbnail for a piece of mine that I called Sacrifice, which again, that's another one I'll have to post again on my Instagram to show you guys. Thumbnail for a Corpse Bride fan art I was going to do, but then I didn't get around to doing it. But I really like that movie, so maybe one of these days. Random sort of cat girl thing. This was my first day of Inktober, and looking back on it now, I think that this was is actually pretty cute, but when I first drew it, I was just like, this is horrible and I don't like it at all. So again, I just had a rough start to Inktober that year, so I just didn't finish it. Some thumbnails and like gesture drawings, random character that I think this one was also an Inktober one. Let's see, and then there is this plant witch that was a thumbnail back on a couple pages ago. And that same day I also did this one, which I still really like this one. I actually do want to finish this one and create like a finalized piece on it and sort of touch up the anatomy of it. And then this one was a failed character design for a challenge where like I had people randomly give me 3 different words, and then I was supposed to create a character off those 3 words. So the 3 words I was trying to create an idea from were coffee, cool, and sparkly. But this was definitely not the finalized thing. The finalized one is in a different sketchbook. This is another character of mine who I call Muriel, and she came about because I wanted to finish all the Inktober prompts, and so I thought it'd be kind of funny to do like little mini comics of this returning mermaid character. So I was working on some different facial features and stuff and emotions, so you will see more of her. I definitely am finishing a sketch that I started a long time ago of her, and it will be up on my Instagram sometime soon, hopefully. Working on a character design for actually the character from the beginning here, Merlina's. This is like her mom, or at least an idea for her mom would look, because that's how that story starts. It's like a prologue showing what happened in the past. This is also like a little unicorn woman sketch again, and then this really cool fairy that I really like. And I haven't done anything with that again. This is another one of my Dragon Queens. This one was done in December of 2016, so that's why it's all icy and pink and stuff. I really like how that came out. It was interesting trying to work with Copics on this paper, because while I liked how a lot of this came out, it was also probably a bad idea to use my Copics on this paper because it just soaks up the ink like crazy. Random doodle based off a doll I think I saw online somewhere. Random doodle, also another random doodle trying to do like these horn things. And then this is the start of the 2017 doodles in the sketchbook. These ones, I especially like these 2 characters. They're both male characters, and I was like, oh my god, I actually drew 2 male characters that don't look awful. So I really like them. I haven't drawn them again, but I plan on using them for something in the future. And then this is the other favorite on this page. It's definitely this strange bull-like creature. I think that was really cool when I drew that. A really rough sketch idea for something based on a song. The lyrics are that like caught in my head were, I don't need a crown to know I'm king. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to do something based on those lyrics, but didn't finish it. Lots of unfinished stuff in here. Like this one, this was possibly an idea. I was going to draw like a cover photo for a story that I was writing at the time and posting on Wattpad, but that story is no longer on Wattpad because I decided to take it down and sort of rework on it a little bit more. This is a doodle of mine called the Mayfly, which I have posted over on my Instagram before. I think it's up there now, but I really liked how she looked in this pretty face. Another random sort of character that I might use in a story. I was also working on like profile, facial features, trying to get emotions. Don't really like those. Thumbnails for a possible redraw of an older drawing of mine, but haven't gone around or picked a final sort of pose I want to put her in. These are all gestures from like an open model session at my school. And then I went back over with a ballpoint pen to sort of like flesh out the gesture for fun when I was bored. Don't like that one. That one's awful. Let's see. And then this, I have 2 versions of this one. So this is a little character that I came up with called Cumulus. And so I did this really like cutesy version, and then I did a sort of less cute version, but I really like both of these. I think they would make pretty cool stickers, or maybe even like a pin or something. I guess there's nothing on this page because it leaked through. My character saying Happy Easter. And then, let's see, random, trying to figure out a doodle. And then I created these two, the moon and the sun. I really liked how these two looked, so I do have another drawing plan for the moon, and then I'll do one for the sun as well. I may record that process, but we'll see. More trying to work on sort of funny facial expressions. And then I was just going online, like on my Pinterest, and looking for things to try to like draw and figure out. So especially like lips, and then there was like this dress that I was trying to figure out how to draw. A weird, I don't know what this is. It's strange. I don't know. Again, we're trying to work on the character, random doodle. This one is definitely a random doodle based off I wanted to try drawing some really, really black hair, because you know how like really healthy black hair is just super shiny, so that was definitely something I was trying to capture in this. More gesture drawings. Lots of gesture drawings. Let's see. More doodles, ideas for possible pieces. Definitely thumbnails. This is when I was working. This is definitely 2017 because I was working on the lycanthropy challenge, and so I was thumbnailing ideas for the different prompts in here, and this was sort of the winning prompt. I forget what maybe it was night was the prompt for that. Okay, this one is funny. So me and my little brother decided to try doing that challenge where you draw like characters from cartoons from memory. So we tried drawing, these are all mine, so that was me trying to draw Danny Phantom from memory, Bob the Builder, Ariel, SpongeBob, a really, really scary SpongeBob. So I made it so he seemed like he's saying, "I'll murder your whole family," because he just looks that disturbing. Ichigo from Bleach, and then a really, really awful Soul from Soul Eater that's like absolutely awful. This was somebody's OC that they requested for me to draw, so I went ahead and I did that. Thumbnailing for an idea. More thumbnailing for something. And then here we go. This is the beginning of part of my Inktober thumbnailing. So I went ahead and I wrote down all the prompt lists for 2017, which I actually did finish all the prompts for this one. So this was my thumbnail for the first day, Swift. Thumbnail for day 2, Divide. A lot of these thumbnails I also did just like as doodles in my school notebooks, which again, a lot of those are in that video that I did of my doodle scrapbooks. So a lot of those other thumbnails were in there, but then like I would take some of those thumbnails to try to figure them out more here, or I just did them straight in this book. But this is Poison, day 3. Day 4 was Underwater, so I had so many different ideas for that. But this was the final idea for Underwater, which again, you can all see all of these finalized pieces in my Inktober sketchbook tour. So day 5 was long. Again, I didn't have that many different ideas. I had one other one, but I ended up going with the long hair Persephone one. Let's see. Day 6 was Sword. Again, I think, wait, was it? Yes, it was Sword. So I did have one other idea. Where did that go? I did have one other idea for Sword, but I decided to not do that, and I ended up with what the finalized one is. Shy, again, lots of different ideas. Something I was thinking about doing during this Inktober was like have this returning witch and werewolf character, which you do actually see them once, but I did thumbnail a lot for like ideas with them for the different prompts, but then I never actually did them for many of them. This was another idea for Shy, and then I ended up with my mermaid and boy character that I absolutely love and I've drawn multiple times now. Let's see. Crooked, again, didn't have that many ideas. It was mainly 2, and I kept going back to this creepy smiling vampire dude, so that's what I ended up doing. Not my favorite one. I really struggled with that day for some reason. Day 9, Screech, my first idea was pretty much the one I went with. Gigantic, this was like the alternate idea I had, but I ended up going with something different. Run, again, I had mainly like 2 other ideas, but then I went with the sort of like the mini comic thing I did. Shattered, again, a lot of these I had about 2 different ideas, and then I chose one. So that one was the Shattered Mermaid tank. And then, let's see, day 15 was mystical, I think, or mystery. Pretty much went with the idea that I had. Same with day 16, and then that was sort of the end of me thumbnailing in this sketchbook. And then this page, just like working on a character, I guess. And then this is funny. So this is the, let's see, it's not the beginning, but is where I picked up my sketches for my Mytho March challenge, which I actually created my whole, my own prompt list for. So I did a lot of those sketches in a different sketchbook, but I filled that one up, so I finished all the doodles in this one. So these were the rest of the days towards the end. I've skipped a page. I really don't like this one. This was probably one of my least favorite ones. These 2 are probably 2 up there with some of my favorites. This one for sure is. This was day 28, which was Trickster. So of course I drew Loki, but this version of Loki is a version for one of my stories. So I was really happy with how he came out. And then day 29, the prompt was, I think, Sacrifice. So I did Odin. Then we have Ragnarok one, that's another favorite of mine. And the last day the prompt was Rebirth, so I just did a bunch of different sort of like creatures or symbols involved with rebirth, like the phoenix, snake, or was it Oberos? I think that's how you pronounce it, and then an egg with a lotus in it. Those are all sort of symbols of rebirth. And then this day I was just trying to work on drawing feet, so I was looking at references on my Pinterest because I have like a bunch of different boards on specific anatomy that I've saved references for. So I don't know what these were for, but obviously I was working on some sort of thumbnails for Mermaid. This one was actually for a challenge over on one of my aminos. We had to draw pretty much in black and white and then have one piece that was in color. So I did this sort of like strange little alien character with this bright pink hair. I really like how that came out actually. And then here is sort of the beginning of my mermaid sort of thumbnail ideas. I did so many different ideas, but I wasn't really able to finish all of them in time for mermaid, just because May was a really busy month for me because it was like the end of my semester and a lot of stuff was going on. So, but there's a lot of ideas that I plan on finishing and continuing. So these are just sort of some rough sketches. Not all of them were for mermaid. Again, lots of random doodles. And then these were actually a lot of thumbnails for something I was working for, one of my final school projects. Some different ideas that I may actually revisit. These are some of my favorite of my like mermaid doodles. I especially like this one. I really do want to finish that one. I kind of ended up sort of doing doodles based on the Little Mermaid story. So who knows, maybe I'll finish all of them and like do my own sort of illustrated version of the Little Mermaid story. This one definitely isn't a part of like that whole thing. This was actually me trying to doodle out a scene from one of my stories, and it was a complete failure. Random girl, that's all I got on that one. Another random sort of like alien girl that again would be like a part of that same universe as the one I drew back here, that one. And then more mermaid ideas, which I like a lot of those. Again, more here. This one's definitely thumbnailing for a whole like little illustrated story, which I really want to do. More that one is definitely not a mermaid one, but I really like that idea too. More mermaid, random one. I actually like that one a lot. Let's see, another random doodle. More sort of mermaid ideas. This was probably the last mermaid doodle I did in here. And then this one, just a random idea, kind of falls into the same theme that I've done for a couple of my other illustrations, like the one I mentioned at the beginning here that I thumbnailed called Sacrifice, and then one that's definitely up on my Instagram right now, which was a birth of a universe. It's kind of a little bit down there, but sort of in that same veil of theme and stuff. More random doodles, an idea for a piece that I want to try painting. This is also another amino challenge. We had to do like make your own monster, so I did this. I was thinking about doing another dragon queen, and she has a little bit of that flair in here, but it kind of became this mix of fairy satyr thing. I call this one Take Me to the Ball. More thumbnailing for a story idea. Random girls. And then this one is also based off a reference I was using on Pinterest. I liked how that one came out. Another one I used, both of these are references on Pinterest that I was looking at and sort of creating based off. And then this is my sort of like cover for a little comic doodle strip that I'm doing. I'm going to be posting up on my Instagram. So I wanted to have like a little cover in the name of the series. And then here is the last page. Well, kind of the last page. The last like official doodle in this page. I don't know. I think I was just like randomly creating something, and I kind of actually like it now looking at it again. It might be an interesting idea to finish and work on. And then the rest is just like kind of notes, swatch testing. But yeah. So that is the full sketchbook tour of this finally finished, long overdue doodly sketchbook. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little peek through, and I will go ahead and see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.